Okay, now we're going to move over to typography. And the font choices you have here are going to be based on two basic font concepts, and that's serif and sans serif. And just so you can get a better understanding of the difference, I just want to bring up this image so you can see. A serif image basically means when a font has these little fancy tails at the end and the beginning of each letter. And sans serif is just what it says. It's without a serif. So it's, as you can see, they don't have those little tails on. So that's the basic difference. Now, the Foodie theme customization panel gives you, a number of fonts here to choose from. And we'll be talking in more advanced lessons. We'll be talking about how to add more fonts that you can use if you're interested. But for the time being, let's just go through some of these changes. Now, the body font family, if we change that, let's change that to something so you can really see. And you can see what happened is that Libra Baskerville is a serif font. Now you can just, again, this is another thing that is basically personal preference. Your main concern here is to make sure that the user can read the content really well. I like the Source Sans Pro. It's very clean. And you can play around with some of these options as well, and you'll see that as you change them, if I went light here, it begins to get a little bit harder to read, and if you go bold, you can see that it gets hard to read as well. It's just not easy on the eyes. So I would stick to normal font weight. It really depends on the font that you choose. Font size, I like to keep it large just because it makes it easier to read. And again, a lot of people are using their tablets, their cell phones. So you can see if, again, this tool down here will show you, kind of what it's going to look like. And it really makes it easy to read. If I look at like a normal size, you can see it gets smaller and more difficult to read. Even if I go small, you can see. I like to stick to large and, potentially even, extra large. I don't mind that either. It really makes it super easy for the user to read. Accent fonts, you don't worry about. Well, actually, I'm sorry. This accent font, you can change this. Let's see here. You can see that this right here. This is your accent fonts up here, right here. And what I like to do is I like to make them like it does out of the box. It makes it a little different. It makes it a serif font, so it makes it stand out, not stand out, but kind of hide it a little bit from the main title and not keep it the same and confusing a little bit up there. So I like to keep that a little different. That's why it's grayed out, and it's a serif font. And then you can play around with some of these. If you don't want it to be so bold, you can put it down to light. Font style, I like to keep it italic just because it looks nice. That little accent text right there looks nice in that font. The heading font is going to be your main headings for your recipes. So let's change these a little bit and see how they look. And again, personal preference. Play around with some different ones. Oswald I like. It's nice and bold, easy to read. And make it extra bold. Let's see how that looks. Again, play around with some different ideas. If you move italic, it's a potential way to do it. Just keep it clean. Remember, keep it as clean as you can. Make your recipes stand out. So that's typography. Go in there, play around with some different fonts, different sizes, different weights, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.